guys, how you doing? Blue here. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You know, as you saw, there was a disagreement in post-game chat, which is something that happens often. It's fine. I'm not looking to attack anyone or anything like that. I just thought it would make for an interesting conversation to really analyze the killer's side of things with the survivor's perspective in mind. So we're going to be running through this gameplay. I played as Myers. I wasn't recording. And so when they made some accusations, I was like, you know what, I'll post it on YouTube and we can all be the judge. It gave me the idea to do this video. Before we get into this though, and I'm not looking to argue with anyone, I wanted to pose a question because I know that there are some fundamental disagreements on what people consider tunneling and what people consider camping. Camping is more so straightforward, but tunneling specifically is what I want to hear. If you want to let me know in the comments below, that'd be great to have some conversation. And we're gonna go ahead and roll into this footage. I want to just say though, to me tunneling is going after someone and solely one person with the intention of getting them out the game, ignoring other survivors, specifically to remove someone from the game. That to me is tunneling. Running into someone after, you know, 5 minutes after they've been unhooked and they've healed and reset, that to me is not tunneling. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. So the idea of this build is nothing crazy really. I just had a Myers challenge to take care of for the day, but I am running the Dead Rabbit add-on, which is one of my favorites because it makes it to where your terror radius at level 2 is tiny, and it makes for some really interesting jump scare moments when you're facing a Myers with this build. And with Fearmonger, we're usually able to get pretty close to them before they can even notice. They don't have that as much time as they do initially to recover from exhaustion if they have sprint burst, if that makes sense. You often see survivors kind of start walking away when they hear the terror radius. And so here I built up my stock just to try to get my power going on the Zarina, who wasn't paying attention initially. And so we'll stock her a little bit more. And there we go, we hit stage 2. So I like to stay at least in stage 2, get there nice and early, which is why we brought Corrupt, just to give us that time to get set up without having to worry about being gen rushed. I think Corrupt's gonna make a big comeback with the new meta. It's crazy to me that I felt like Corrupt for a long time was such an essential perk to have, and then following the nerf I didn't use it as much anymore. And so now we run into a different survivor, a Jane, and I drop off of her because I see the Zarina is still hurt and she ran right by me, so it's a free down. I'm waiting out Dead Hard here because she's had some time to recover, and we do lose our first gen, which was that one in the corner. So there is a hook here in front of me, but because I know that 2 survivors are behind me, my goal is going to be to walk over to this hook and try to get as far from them as possible so that they have to come over here, while also bringing me over to the generator that has deadlock on it. That way, you know, deadlock kind of gives me info too, but it actually doesn't have much progress on it. But you know, being that it was at least started, I was kind of convinced someone was nearby, and then we end up running into Jane again. So here I'm waiting, I'm trying to get my stock up just a little bit more, and I'm gonna try to get closer to her. So we can see the Zarina's run off now. She's long gone, and we swing and we miss. We're getting our bloodlust going, and here I kind of dropped the ball. I'm gonna moonwalk this, and I'm expecting there to be a pallet here and for her to be camping it, but the pallet was actually to the right. So we do drop off of that chase. I'm looking back at it now. I do have bloodlust tier 2, so maybe I should have stayed, but I spent quite a bit of time there, and I'm worried about losing one of these other gens. So at this moment, I noticed that someone's on a gen. Looking at it now, I can see that it is Serena, but at the time I wasn't really paying attention. I just knew that someone was there. No one was on the gen that I walked by, so that leads me back to chase Zarina. And so we almost have our Evil Within 99. She teabags us, which is fine. And so we're gonna stay on her a little bit and see if we can, you know, get close enough to her, get rid of resources, and get close enough to pop tier 3 and just down her, and hopefully get jolt value while we're over here to blast these 2 gens. And okay, so now we get our power going, and here's the jolt. Now I noticed someone running right here, and we down her. And then we get double jolt value. We get some pressure. It was the Ada with the flashlight. So we got 2 flashlight players on this team. Here comes Carlos. I don't know why he stayed around to blind again instead of, you know, pressuring a gen or taking some distance, maybe waiting to try to get Ada, but that was his choice. So I'm gonna fake the pickup here and try to see if Carlos attempts to make a save. I didn't see him initially. Watching this footage now, I saw him kind of hiding behind the rock over there, but he's not close enough regardless to get a save. You can hear him click. He doesn't get it, and we're gonna go ahead and take this person over to this hook. So they go for the save here. Now you'll notice that Zarina, the tunneling accusation was made because I went after her after chasing the Jane, at which point she had already healed up. It was on a new gen. Now you'll see we really don't get into a chase with Zarina again the rest of the game. She's actually the last one to go down. So yeah, I don't know how that's tunneling, but so we left hook, right? And we go for Carlos. I try to get some stock value, and I start thinking at this point, someone's got to be going for the unhook. So let me try to run back, and sure enough, we catch Jane. We down her. We pick up Jane, and I hear Carlos click a flashlight behind me. And this is now where I'm going to drop her. I'm going to go for him because I have tier 3. So this is a point at which I should capitalize on my power. Now he's gone. I'm not really quite sure where he went. He got away very quickly. And so at this moment, this is where the camping accusation comes in. Now, I left hook, went into a completely different chase, and predicted that someone would be coming back in that moment. To me, that's not camping. And I dropped Jane because this guy went for a flashlight save, and now we get her down. I put Jane down to punish the attempt at the flashlight save while we still have tier 3 value. To make the most out of our power. Now, granted, that chase lasted longer than I would have liked, but we got him, and everyone else has had a chance to get away from hook and reset. And so, you know, I'm looking around to see if anyone's healing. I see the scratch marks. They chose to jump on this gen instead. And here comes Ada, and she's given up. So Carlos has been unhooked, and now Ada, I believe, is dead, just because of what happened with Jane, and she also tried to unhook herself. I hear someone else crying over here, and just like that, the game is out of control. We tried to moonwalk into camping the pallet, but I didn't hear him crying. So we'll do the same thing here, and it works that time. So someone is, I'm sorry. I was gonna say someone was on that gen, but I'm realizing watching this that it's Jolt. I don't know where Zarina and Jane are. So I'm gonna go for a walk and try to find them at this point. And so now we heard a gen pop, right? So we got information there. One person's to the right, getting the unhook. The other person's on the left. I'll hit Carlos to make him mend, but I'm not gonna go after him. And he's throwing a fit that I hit him. No intention of tunneling him. I just put him in the deep wound to slow the game down more. I mean, he ran right into me. And so we're gonna focus on Jane right now. And I mind game myself there. I was hoping she would panic drop, but she's not. She does there, but I couldn't close that gap fast enough, and then we fall for the dead hard. We face the ground, and she actually managed to get the blind, but with our hearing, we're able to catch her. We give her a cheeky little nopers for blinding me mid-chase, and then we'll take the hook. And at this point, guys, this is where we put the game away right here. As you can see, the Zarina that I tunneled is still alive. And like I said, we haven't run into her again. We're getting some stock value on Carlos, but I realized that I won't be able to get enough to get to tier 3 because he's been stocked enough, and he's given up. So we hit him, and I see Zarina straight ahead, and we're gonna go ahead and chase her to put the game away. And we'll try to swing into it, but she gets the stun. And then this is it. Waiting out dead hard. She doesn't have it. And that's game. So I kind of want to just go back to where we were and think here for a bit together. So the tunneling accusation, right, was made after we dropped off Chase. Sorry, I'm trying to pause this. We dropped off Chase with Jane because we weren't winning that chase. Maybe we could have had we stuck around a little longer, but to me, I was more concerned with the gens on the other side of the map that I felt like were probably being pressured. We went back over there. We went near main buildings gen. I didn't hear anyone actively working on it, but I knew to the right someone was working on a gen, and it happened to be Zarina, who was fully healed at that point, and I had my power essentially 95% ready to go. So we chose to chase her to get the jolt value. The chase is over. Ada went down attempting to get a flashlight save, and then once we hooked her, we left hook to chase Carlos, which was unsuccessful, which is fine because I used it as an opportunity to build my stock up. At the point that I mentally decided we should probably leave this chase with Carlos, we predict that someone's going to be going back to hook, and it ended up being Jane. So we downed Jane, and we immediately pick her up. So we didn't down her with the intention of standing there face camping. We down her, we pick her up, but at the moment that I pick her up, instead of waiting for me to leave, Carlos attempts to flashlight save, which is fine, but I had a ton of tier 3 left. So to capitalize on this, I drop her and I go after him. I thought the chase would have been over more quickly, but it lasted a little bit longer. That's okay. We still downed him, and then we had to force the last person off of gen to go get the pickup and go get the unhook, and that's really all that happened. So I want to know, does that constitute to you guys as tunneling? Because to me it doesn't. And does that constitute as camping? Because also to me it does not. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Drop a like, drop a comment, and I'm considering doing more of these in the future, just to give like an analytic breakdown of a thought process that was going on here, and so that we can learn from each other. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. See you later.